Hello everyone, have you ever heard the phrase, April showers bring May flowers? As we head into the month of April, I thought it would be fun to explore this phrase through a work of art. As usual, you may use whatever materials you have available to you to create this project. I am going to be modeling it by using some markers and pencil. When we're working on this project, one of the concepts we're going to be exploring is something called radial symmetry. Radial symmetry is when something looks the same as you rotate it around a point. So you can see on this handout here, I have 6 different flowers that all show kind of rough radial symmetry. They're not perfect, but for the most part, as I turn them, as I rotate them, they look the same. Radial symmetry is one of 2 main kinds of symmetry. The other kind of symmetry is called bilateral symmetry. That's where if you were to cut something down the middle, each side would look the same. You can see that some of these flowers also have bilateral symmetry, but what we're looking at today is radial. The instructions for how to create our flowers are we are going to either draw a dot or a circle for the flower center. We're then going to draw a shape around that dot and repeat it, either turning the paper as you go, turning your screen as you go if you're working digitally, or simply by just kind of moving yourself in a circle as you work your way around. So let's get started. For this project, I would like you to have at least 5 different flowers that show radial symmetry. So 5 different ones that show radial symmetry. I'm going to get started with one that starts with a dot. Now I need to pick a shape to repeat. I'm going to pick kind of a U or bump shape to repeat. I got 4 as I move myself in a circle. I then have 2 options for how I move out from the middle of my flower. I could either kind of alternate and have my petals kind of build out like you might layer bricks to build a strong house, or I can kind of echo. On this one, I'm going to alternate. So I'm just putting my petals as I make my way around in between where I had petals before. As we draw these, because we are not perfect people and that's okay, our radial symmetry isn't going to be perfect either. What I would like though is that you're starting from the middle and moving in a circle so that we can at least get some rough radial symmetry. Again, radial symmetry is when something looks the same as we rotate it around a point. All right, so there's one radial symmetrical flower. Now let's start our next one maybe with a circle. And I think for this one, I am going to repeat an echoing form of kind of symmetrical lines. So maybe I start with kind of a wavy, bumpy line, and then I start echoing that line, making that line bigger and bigger in what are called concentric circles or shapes because they all have the same center to create my flower. Now I've got 2, I need 3 more. I'm going to start another one with a circle. And this time I'm going to repeat kind of a football or petal shape for that inner layer. And again, it's okay if these aren't perfect. I want you to try your best to keep those shapes about the same and make your way around your middle so that it has that radial symmetry. This time I'm going to put my next layer kind of in the middle, in between those 2 shapes of the first one, and I can continue layering that out if I would like until I've built up a really big, beautiful flower. Now I know what you're thinking. Some of you are like, man, flowers aren't really my jam. That's okay. This is a cool activity to stretch our thoughts symmetrically. Maybe if you're somebody who's like, I need something to jazz this up a little bit, you could use some bilateral symmetry and maybe draw some bugs. So maybe I have a ladybug flying in here, starting with a circle and then adding those 2 wings, which are kind of like halves of a circle opening up. And they are symmetrical in that they always have the same number of dots on them. So maybe my ladybug has those. So if you need to add some bugs to jazz this up, go for it. All right, I have 3 flowers in bug now. I need 2 more. For this next one, I'm gonna start with a dot. I'm gonna put that one over here, and I'm going to use that kind of U shape again. And this time I'm going to do some echoing. So I'm echoing those initial forms. I can echo them one more time to make that flower a little bigger. Maybe I do a little bit of that in-between shape to build my flower out a little bit more. All right, now I've got 4. I need 1 more. For this one, I'm going to start with a circle. I'm going to put it down here. And I am going to use a little bit more of a squared off kind of angular shape. And in between, I am going to start building that flower out. So echoing that same shape, getting bigger, moving in a circle to create a roughly radial symmetric design. And again, I'm working with pencil right now, but you are welcome to work with whatever art making materials you happen to have on hand. So if you'd like to work with crayons, colored pencils, if you'd like to work with paint, this project would lend itself really nicely to doing oil or wax resist. So first drawing with like a crayon or an oil pastel, and then using a water-based paint like temper cakes or watercolors to paint over the top. Alright, so now I've got 5 awesome flowers. I could repeat a couple more flowers just to fill my space a little bit more, or I could stick with what I've got. One of the other things that I would like you to show me, because we're talking about that phrase, April showers bring May flowers, is to have some sort of representation of a shower. So in the first example, I used a watering can, which is a great way to show showers. Another example would be maybe you have just a rain cloud showering on your scene. I think I'm going to come in from this corner for my rain cloud. And to represent my rain, I'm going to use a dashed line. Alright, so there's kind of the basis of my drawing. Now it doesn't really feel complete yet. I could fill in my space with some more flowers or other details down here. And another great way to help make this drawing feel a little bit more complete is to use some color. So I'm going to use markers. Again, it doesn't matter to me what material you use as long as you're working hard like an artist to control that material. That's what we call craftsmanship, when you use a material wisely so that it looks really nice. So I've got my cloud there. I might spend a little bit more time filling that out. And ladybugs are usually red, so if I'm coloring in this ladybug, I might want to use some red. If I'm really working on craftsmanship, I might have wanted to come in with my eraser first to get rid of extra pencil smudgies before coming in with my colors. Again, craftsmanship is how you control your tools. One of my other expectations for this project and every project is that you are taking your time and trying your best. So I'd keep moving forward until I had completed this drawing. Sometimes it looks nice to outline things, so that might be something that you want to do. Once you have finished your drawing and it feels as full and complete as that first example that I shared with you, you don't have to add the text if you don't want to. Then you are ready to photograph your artwork and post it up. Can't wait to see what you create.